Scribbled notes, scribbled notes when I wrote these quotes. If I offend, pardon me, there's more of me to grow. Creative in my process, enjoy the show. The will is different when you recognize the different strokes. Different folks, same goals, we all want the most. So when we reach the top, we can enjoy the toast. The type of bread we get is fresh about the bakery. Told them don't play with me, with or without a degree. Don't question my intensity, bravery. Similar to agencies that want to see you fold. So just pray for me. Yeah, Einstein with my energy.
Yeah, like what's it like? How do you decide which ones you're gonna audition for?
Well, like I said, I got myself a coach, Krista Lewis, if anyone's interested. She's amazing. And so she really helped me put all that together in terms of like choosing what like samples to put up and stuff. And her recommendation, which I think is brilliant, is to do, you do one sample that is fiction, no dialogue, one sample that is nonfiction, and one sample that is fiction with dialogue. And so those were I picked 3 that I resonated with. I did one in Spanish because I speak Spanish. And it worked clearly. In terms of uploading it, it's actually super simple. You just click a couple buttons and it goes right up.
Yeah, I can only imagine. Like, I remember when I did my first one, it was so interesting to get so many different takes on the same like narration. I think that's one of the cool parts about audiobook is you get someone else's rendition and then you get to work collaboratively. What was that collaborative relationship like? Because obviously it's been working for both of you as far as like Adam making like you're the author, you know what you want this to sound like. Veronica, you obviously are the actress, so you're kind of like you're actually bringing this audiobook to life in people's ears. What's that relationship like?
I think this one is a little different from normal to a certain extent because there were already voices that were established. So before I even auditioned, I went and found the samples from the first 3 books and listened to those so I could get an idea of the tone of the previous narrator and try to match the voices as much as I could because no one's voice can match completely. And I got a sense of the characters from that. But any character that wasn't already voiced, like Adam gave me pretty much complete freedom, which was awesome and super fun. I got to experiment with a bunch of different dialects and accents and stuff. So that was rad.
Yeah, one of the things I wanted to do when I was writing it was, as much as possible, not pigeonhole any reader into, okay, this is how this person sounds, and this is how that person sounds. I mean, there are some of them, Chief Stone, Mac, who had very definite sounds, and then there were others who were established, as you said, by the previous narrator, but the new characters, okay, sure, that works for them. The one I think that you really nailed and it brought to life especially well is Daniela.
She's one of my favorite characters.
Yeah, I can tell.
Double dip, right?
Double dip.
Yeah, says she's like the badass I wish I were. Like, so that was, she was a lot of fun to do.
Yeah, well, and she became more and more important in the 4th and 5th books, the ones that you read, the further you went on. It's like, those 2 books were really her growing up and her developing and showing, okay, this is what I can do. As for the collaborative piece, Veronica has been a joy to work with, going back and forth on the emails and the messages, and she'll upload something and say, okay, how does this sound? And we'll go back and forth, and just a pleasure to work with. So
I do what I can.
That's awesome. So what's your process like? Explain how you go about narrating an audiobook. I think a lot of people who are listening are going to be really interested to hear, like, if they want to become a narrator, what does it look like, and how do you go about bringing that story to life?
Well, the first thing I do is read the entire book, obviously. And as I'm reading it, I make notes like who's speaking. I have like this color coded thing that I do where it's like, if I highlight it, it's someone speaking. If I highlight it in orange, it's like they're quoting someone else. Any words that I'm not sure how to pronounce, I highlight in blue, so I know to like ask later.
There may have been a few of those.
There may have been one or two.
Yeah, occasionally.
Not being I mean, I'm super interested in science, but that doesn't mean I know a whole lot about it. I do watch a lot of like space documentaries and stuff because my fiance is like a super nerd. But yeah, certain things I definitely did not know how to pronounce. And then like any sort of like description of the characters, like the way their voice sounds or the how they're speaking, like, you know, she snapped at him or whatever, I circle those so that I know to do that in the performance. So that's the first step, and by far the longest step. And I try my best to do that before I even put in the 15-minute like sample, because that's going to inform the 15-minute sample. And then yeah, once that's really the hard part. The performance part is that's the joy. So
it's like that's the reason why you do it, is because you really get to like go in and do, and actually like I feel like that would be the most fun part. I feel like as writers, I'm often voicing my own characters as I'm writing them and like saying their dialogue in my own head, like this is how they would say it. So yeah. You're like actually doing it, and you're actually better, especially at like probably speaking, than I am when it comes to narrating, because I narrate like a fool, but
I'm sure you're fine.
You know, I have a hard time narrating, but I think it's really cool because even the color coding and going through a whole system and remembering what to go look back on and asking for pronunciation, I noticed that was a big thing when I was recording my first one. Is like, oh, how do you pronounce names? Like, how do you pronounce this and how do you pronounce that, and making sure that it's accurate, because it could become a lot of backtracking if you don't do that. So I think doing all that up front matters. Yeah,
that's the thing, is it's all the like hard work, and it's hard. Like, it's not really hard. It's just it takes a minute. That's all at the front, and then I don't know, the booth part goes pretty quickly for me. I would say that's my like I said, it's my happy place. So
Scribbled notes when I wrote these quotes. If I offend, pardon me, there's more of me to grow. Creative in my process, enjoy the show. The will is different when you recognize the different strokes. Different folks, same goals, we all want the most. So when we reach the top, we can enjoy the toast. The type of bread we get is fresh about the bakery. Told them don't play with me. With or without a degree, don't question my intensity. Bravery, similar to agencies that want to see you fold. So just pray for me. Yeah, Einstein with my energy.